We talked earlier about there was a time when you just got kind of stuck in this place where you couldn't really move, you didn't want to do this or you didn't want to do that, and you didn't know it was depression.
Yep.
Can you talk about what happened?
Yeah, so when I started to understand what a depression was, the clinical definition, when you really get down to it, is you're unable to make a decision to move either forward or backwards, where you're really stuck in this very specific place. And so when I first moved to New York, I didn't realize that I had been going through such a depression because I wasn't able to write. I wasn't able to, a play, an essay, anything. I wasn't able to do anything. And I also wasn't able to make a decision about what my life was about to look like. And so when I started to deal with that, I definitely decided to get with a therapist and to start really working through the process about where I was and where I was eventually trying to go. And after being able to identify a lot of like the decisions that I was making in the present were rooted in a lot of stuff that I had done and dealt with in the past. Like losing my job and trying to prove to people that I had worthiness, even though something very valuable to me was actually taken away. And so one of the things that the therapist said that really began to transform me was, one, he said, nobody is responsible for your life but you. And how you engage and get back to you is you do the things that you want to do, the things that you enjoy, the things that make you happy. And through that, you will be able to kind of start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And so that's when I started to go to as much theater as I could in New York. And it was just like a seed that had been watered, you know, where it was like I was dead in my creative ability. I started to really flourish and start coming up with the ideas and started to see the definition of who I was. And there was this one specific play called Sunset Baby, written by Dominique Morisseau, that I think really was just, it really defined me and my personal journey, because she was trying to just go get on the flight and get away. And that's all I was ever trying to do, was kind of get away and escape the past instead of embracing the past and using it as the fuel to create everything in the present. Just kind of what I went through and how I was able to get back on the other side. And fortunately, I haven't experienced that in a long time.
Sunset Baby?
Sunset Baby.
And you saw that in New York?
I saw that in New York at the Labyrinth Theater. It was unexpected, but it was such a great piece of poetic work. It was just tremendous.
Did you reach out to the playwright?
No, I never did. I've never reached out. And it's interesting enough because I've met other writers who know exactly who she is. Oh. And so maybe, maybe the universe will align and I'll be able to one day see her, look in her face and tell her, hey, this play really helped heal the journey that I had internally.
So did it also heal, but then you also wanted to write plays like that?
That were affecting. And I understood that what made it so effective is that it came from a very real place inside of her. And again, I wasn't writing plays because I was trying to hide so much of who I was from the rest of the world. I wasn't able to authentically tell these really deep and rich stories. So once I started to be okay with me and who I was able to go out and start really telling stories in a very authentic and rich way. And while it has not necessarily caught on to the popular culture, people that have been able to witness my work have been affected by it. And that's what I'm grateful for.
Do you remember what it was like to leave the theater after you saw that? Like, were you in one of these dazes?
I was. It was hard to get to that theater too, because that theater is like not by the train line. And I remember not wanting to leave the theater. I didn't really want to leave the theater, so I just kind of remember sitting there for just like a half second longer than what I should have. And then immediately we went across the street and I just wanted to just like regurgitate and just talk about the piece and talk about the journey. And it's been so many amazing plays that I've seen in New York. So many incredible plays and playwrights that people probably will never see their work staged, but it's an incredible group of writers and talent to pull from in New York.